So we're on to the start list there for the semi-final of the women's single sculls, with local favourite Magdalena Lobnig, the name to look out for there. So we're looking at the replay of the start, which happened a few moments ago. On the far side, it's the British sculler Alex Batts, then Tonta Donati, the Italian, Janine Gemelin, the Swiss world champion, Magdalena Lobnig next to her. Both of those were really fast, and we're looking at Lobnig there, understandably. We're not going to get much of a look at the sculler next to her, Maddie Edmonds, or indeed Lovisa Klassen from Sweden, as Magdalena Lobnig is the star of this regatta as far as Austrian TV is concerned, and we don't mind that at all, because we're very pleased to be here.
And she was looking very clean off the start there, and as we see them now coming through about 7:50, the Austrian sculler Lobnig is in charge, but she's going to need to keep a good eye to her right on the Swiss sculler Gemelin, who we know was unbeaten in 2017. She won the first World Cup race, so she's definitely the form sculler here. And nice to see the Australian sculler Maddie Edmonds. It's the first time in the singles since she did it as an under-23 back in 2011. But she got a bronze medal in the double last year in Sarasota, now having to go in the single, and right in the race here with 3 to qualify.
Yeah, 26 years of age, a lot of experience, right time to come into the single, isn't it? The Queenslander from Commercial Rowing Club, having a little look there to see where the race is. I mean, you're doing all right there, Maddie. That's a good space to be in. You've got space on the other crews behind you, and I saw Janine Gemelin she was just buying a coffee, and you know, she is absolutely, in terms of the prime of physical condition, you would think if you looked at her, be a weightlifter. She's actually got a really very, very strong core, you know, really big shoulders that, you know, and Robin Dale's taken his S&C coach over from Britain to work with the Swiss team, and you can see the importance he ascribes to that, and weights just to give his crews the power, not just off the start, but the endurance during the second half of races. This is where Lobnig will find the going tough.
Well, we see Lobnig here. She got that early lead, but the times on the left are showing us it's Janine Gemelin who has taken 2 seconds off the rest of the field in the second 500. I suspect she'll be planning to do that and more in the third 500 if she can go with the form that we expect she's going to have and just carry this move on as she's doing now.
It's kind of, you know, it's what there's almost nobody can stop her in the third quarter. That is where she does her damage, Greg, in that part of the race. And Lobnig is a very brave, very gutsy sculler. She's going to throw everything into the semi-final to try and sort of, you know, motivate the crowd here. She's the darling of Austrian rowing. This is the course where the World Championships will be next year. She really does want to make an impact on her home water, and, you know, head-to-head with Gemelin.
But it's interesting you talk about the core of Gemelin, her work there, and just how solid she is in the core, and she actually loses none of her leg drive. When you just compare that a little bit to the Austrian sculler, you can just see her just losing her middle a little bit there.
Janine Gemelin we're riding with there. She's entered for the women's single sculls at the Henley Royal Regatta.
She is so powerful that, like you say, the blades don't come back quickly. They don't need to come back quickly. They just come back through strongly and powerfully, and she really moves the boat.
She's not tall either, so, you know, that's a big difference, I think, from Lobnig, who's kind of sort of 5'11", and Janine Gemelin's just 5'7". That's 171 to 180. But she uses every inch of that stroke length. I mean, if you know, Lobnig's got a nice long stroke, but Gemelin's so dynamic. Maddie Edmonds right there in the picture, the sculler from Queensland, 26 years of age, and those three really dominating the event. Tonta Donati, the Italian, in 4th place. Only the top 3 will go through to tomorrow's A final. Klassen, the young Swede, we'll see a lot more of her in future years, just 23 years of age, Lovisa Klassen, but out of this battle. So, with about 400 metres to go, do you think Gemelin's done enough? The field can close up to her in the last part of races. We've seen that happen where, you know, Gemelin lays it down and then
No, I think Gemelin, she just looks so efficient. There's just nothing wasted, that she comes right in there. That body is strong, the core is strong, so she gets, what can you say, a good connection of the blade, and then the legs and the back just work like kind of piston, just pushing the boat along. And then she comes quietly up to take the next one. See Lobneck beside her, doing everything she can and getting pushed on by Maddie Edmonds on the left of our shot from Australia. But these three nicely clear of the Italian to ensure that they're going to be the three qualifiers.
And thanks for Ryan Australia, who's just tweeted us that, did you know Maddie Edmonds' younger sister Jacinta is in the Australian rowing team, and their father Ian is an Olympic rowing medalist too. Thank you very much, Rowing Australia, for telling us that great news, and glad we were able to get it on air. As Janine Gemelin comes up to the last 10 strokes, Lobnig is not going to catch her. Tonta Donati is not going to catch Maddie Edmonds, so if you're watching in Australia, your scullet is safe for a brilliant final slot, actually. Gemelin crosses the line now, clear water lead over the Austrian favourite Lobnig. Maddie Edmonds got an overlap on Lobnig. Tonta Donati, a great charge, but all in vain. She will go into tomorrow's B final. High standard event that. You've got Lobnig and Gemelin in the same semi-final. You've got to think, whoa, I really don't want that one.
But you're never allowed to say that, are you?
No.
You've got to look at it and go, that's just the race I wanted,
yeah,
when it comes out.
So Alice Batts, the British sculler there, that was that great duel just before the 1,000 metres. Lobnig closest to you with the distinctive Austrian blades, and Gemelin on a roll after the Switzerland performance in the World Cup last night, Greg.
She didn't have to leave it as late as the Swiss football team did last night, but yeah, seeing the smaller countries coming through is fantastic.
And confirmation, Gemelin in 7:29, clear water over Lobnig from Austria. Maddie Edmonds takes the third qualifying slot from tomorrow's A final. Tonta Donati, Klassen and Batts go to the B final. So we will head off to the